Yo, what is good? My anime faithful, what is good, yo? So, this week's episode of Dororo, um, yeah, they really brought it back by having the man who really brought him up, well, the mama, who is everything to the beginning of this man's story. Um, just seeing that they brought him back, and not only that, they kind of show us just what has been going wrong overall with the narrative that he thought he set forth, but what he really set forth was something unprecedented in his opinion when it came down to just how much things our main character Hanaki was actually going to be dealing with all this time. And to find out like this must be pretty rough, but at the same time, he really stuck to his guns this week, which was kind of messed up, but at the same time, I think everybody can agree why he did it. I mean, a lot of people probably wouldn't have done it the way he did it, and I am probably on more on that side of the boat with everybody. Like, I don't think I would have went this route, but with what we see, we kind of understand that he just didn't want to be the overall cause for more destruction and chaos in the sense of how much he's probably already, is involved in for just giving him the prosthetic limbs and stuff like that. So not only has this boy been going ham and just absolutely wrecking people, you then have a notion where you can be like, oh, well, either I kind of help him now, knowing that he's this, like, ridiculously already powerful kid, and I help him by, um, giving him another leg that he can pretty much turn into his ultimate weapon. But at this point, it doesn't really matter. I mean, he's already making well do with like a peg leg, like a pirate right now. So it's one of these instances where you just are stuck to watch this man's greatness and how ham he can go in battles. So literally, he shows up fighting multiple upon multiple ghouls, um, and not only does he like get out of a cave and go and fight these ghouls, he's still doing it with this peg leg, this non-prosthetic leg that if he got a prosthetic, he would probably just have that much better of a step on his hand, like, better hop in his step. But with the man choosing to do what he's done this week, it kind of makes you question his role in the overall story later on because he was a character that was so like dead in his own opinion or so unworthy of death that even a ghoul who looked into his eyes who clearly I guess wants to see more fear than or a fear or a will to someone having a will to live. It just goes to show you that these demons have a particular taste. Like they really do like to know that you're suffering once they bite into you or something along those lines. And because of it, he doesn't have anything to be suffering about. He doesn't, I mean, besides, the kid that he kind of just let out of his life after trying to help and finding out he couldn't help. Um, it felt like it was something that was eating away at him, but at the same time, you watch this and you're like, oh, maybe it wasn't, maybe it wasn't eating away at him as much. And then he learns more and more about the story and why uh, this kid is fighting for not only his life and his body, but he's also fighting for um, selfish reasons, I guess you can say, when it comes down to a whole nation compared to just one kid. He's one person, and he's like, well, what I want is my body, and The nation's living off my body, so I'm gonna take it back regardless. Okay? Okay. Um, I mean, but to be fair, how would you feel if you never even had your body because it was traded off for the country that you don't even get to live in, by the way? Um, I don't know. It seems pretty obvious that it's fair, but the way that this was handled, it was such a great opposite viewpoint of what we've been seeing thus far. We're just like, oh man, that's so wrong. Oh man, this kid is, he's been treated unfairly. He should be able to do this and that. And then finally we get someone that's kind of like, nah, everything you're doing is, just as bad, if not worse, than what you're doing, because now what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to take out other humans to get what you want, and not only humans, but your own mother, father, and brother. And none of that bugged him, none of that really shook him to his core. So, regardless of all that being something that could be possible, he ain't really concerned about it. He just wants his body, like he said, and he wants to move on with it. So, I don't know. I'm interested to see what everybody's kind of take on this is when it comes down to this episode. And we're getting kind of close to the end game of this show, like the overall ending of this season, which I'm not sure if there's going to be more. I think there's going to be a cutscene. Hold on a second. Let me get here. Okay. I'm not sure if there's going to be more, like just overall seasons, or if this is going to end like abruptly. But as of right now, we finally get to hear or at least see how he feels about Diorio, the main actual named character in the show, Diorio, um, and what he just might mean to him, which, you know, this man who doesn't even want to be involved with someone that he could practically call his son at this point, he pretty much gives me uh, a good enough thought process to understand that regardless of what this kid has become, he still cares so deeply about him that knowing the path ahead, he doesn't want any means of him going through that. So he's trying to hold him back from going through it, but seeing how that's the only way to get stronger, the only way to move forward, and the only way to gain his own body, which I think he's hit a lot of nails that I was thinking about. Like, if he got his body, he might not be as good as fighting. He might be a lot slower or weaker. But the other thing is, he can't just throw his limbs away like he had been at the beginning of the show, where getting his arms and his legs bit and just gnawed on was nothing because they weren't real limbs. And now that they are, it's like, what do you think you could still fight? That fighting style's gonna work, like it's just not, that's not the business. So that's what I'm interested into seeing now, is what really can he do to keep himself safe in these fights, when if he actually achieves his whole entire human body. And is that like the real end all be all of the show? Are they gonna really go in, give this kid his body, and that be the time when people understand he's his most vulnerable and take him out or something? Like, there's so many questions, but so much time to still wait. I can't wait to see where this all ends up going. I mean, as of right now, it's kind of obvious where it could go, but again, I'm not really one to just predict. I like to just see it all happen as it's going to happen. And because of that, I really hope we do see some amazing stuff. So with that being said, I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. One of the shows I usually review didn't come out yesterday. I didn't see any reports on it besides that Netflix might be behind it. So I will have a second video at least for this week. So if you guys are looking forward to that, make sure you're subscribed or at least have your notification bell on so when that drops you'll be instantly notified. But yeah, man, this show is absolutely phenomenal, and I am blessed to have been like told to watch it, and not only that, just been interested in general when I saw it pop up on the list of new shows that were coming out. Um, I'm glad I kept up with it, and it's really is paying off up to now. So hope you guys have an amazing day, and yeah, I'll talk to you later. Peace.